I think it's better to change a heart than a law. If we all had golden hearts and didn't drive and talk on our cell phones badly because we knew we might hurt people.
Don't get me going on the cell phone thing.
We wouldn't have made the law preventing. I mean, none of us really like that law. We all like to use our cell phone in the car every now and then, and we try to do it well. But laws like that aren't necessary, it's you wouldn't have to have those laws if people, in a sense, their heart was in the right place.
True.
Safety.
Very true. I mean, abortions are going down.
But what do you do when you can't change hearts? What do you do when people are dying from drunk drivers? Do you go out and try to change the heart of every drunk? Or do you make a law and you give out DUIs and you have the CHP patrol and look for them?
And at the same time, you're educating
also
people.
Educating, changing the hearts.
You're doing them both at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to do both.
Their choice to intoxicate their own body endangers other people's lives. And since you can't, and we try to reach the heart of every potential drunk driver and every teenager who's drinking underage and stuff, we try to do that. And you have organizations like MAD that work, work for that issue. But if you can't change the heart, is it better to change the law?
Yeah.
Or do nothing at all.
Or do nothing at all.
What if William Wilberforce and all the other abolitionists said that? Hey, I'd rather change a heart than a law.
It doesn't
what would that have
protect the
meant?
people who are dying.
Right.
This is true.
I mean, I don't know that we'd have slavery right now, but it certainly would have delayed this because they went and they were changing hearts and trying to change law at the same time.
Well, I just agree with Elizabeth with Liz. Sorry, I don't know why I just said the long version of your name, but
I like it.
Anyway.
Joshua.
Anyway.
Anyways.
Try it with Kyle. Just go ahead. Just give me a shot.
Kyle.
Kylan. No, okay. Sorry.
Wow.
Moving on.
Yes. It's a great statement. It's in the wrong place.
Yeah, that's true.
And then just before we go on to a new clip, I mean, just it makes me laugh. Joy Bearer says, talk about an invasion. I mean, I'm sorry. What do you think an abortion is? It's just this little picnic that you have on the side of the, it's just funny.
Yeah.
An invasion. I mean, anyways, it's like comparing, I don't even know how to get into it, but if you started to look at war, if somebody had, someone pull a gun on them or 50 people pull a gun on them, I mean, what's going to be more devastating in a war situation? I mean, it's the same thing. It's just comparing, sticking a probe versus the abortion process. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
We'll just let it there because I could be very specific about how much less this is and all that stuff. I'm just not going to get into it. So if you really want the full on thing,
do your research.
Email me.
Email me.
Do your research, but use your common sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Very seriously.
Clip number 3.
Let me tell you something. There's not a woman that goes, there's not a woman out there who makes a decision to have an abortion lightly. It is
I'm not saying it's a right decision.
It's a tough, but to have someone compound what you are already carrying, you are already going in there with that pain. Because maybe you didn't want to have an abortion. Maybe you can't have a baby. Maybe you can't afford it.
Are you going with all the knowledge of what is actually going on inside of you at 16 weeks?
What difference does it make if you can't have the baby? What difference does it make if you're going to bring a baby in and you can't feed it and you can't take care of it and then people end up killing their kids? I hate it.
She just said, and then people end up killing that kid.
Yes, she's talking about child abuse, though.
Of child abuse is the end. In the end, if you had this child, it would die.
I'd venture to say, and again, watch Whoopi listen to this and come after me, but I bet Whoopi's had an abortion. She just seems defensive, and I will just state in this thing, and again, I don't know, I'm not a mind reader, but the Frederica Matthews Green, we've said this a million times, but just in case we got a new listener, a woman does not want an abortion like she wants an ice cream cone or a Porsche. She wants it as an animal, caught in a trap, gnaws off its own leg.
Right.
And that is the sense that I get when Whoopi's talking here, that she's talking from her own personal experience. The problem with that is not all abortions happen for the same reason, and it doesn't change the fact of whether abortion is right or not.
Yeah, but I'll just say, when I hear that, and obviously I'm not going to have maybe as much insight on this as you, Carrie, but it seems to me, if Whoopi maybe has been really involved with Planned Parenthood, has spent time talking to the directors and really, I'm not in the same way that we're brainwashing the pro-lifers with our show.
There you go.
Although we're trying to be as fair to both sides as possible, so I guess that wouldn't be us, but maybe another pro-life show that actually does brain. I don't know, whatever. But,
Sorry.
If they really believe that, then and if they feel like this is a true invasion, that the government is really going and like there's this real invasion of rights, then I could see her getting very passionate about that. This is her chance to be a voice and get forth that view. So it doesn't mean she's had an abortion.
Right. I can see that. That's why she might be passionate about it. But the argument that she brings up, the justification for basically abortion here, she's saying, because women make this serious decision, because they think about it, because there's pain involved, then it must be okay. There's a logical fallacy there. It appeals to the emotions because, of course, we trust women to make decisions. We trust women and men to live their lives in our country under certain guidelines. But just because somebody, and I think if I was addressed with this in a conversation, I would ask somebody, why do you think women don't take this lightly? What is it about the abortion issue that makes it difficult? Why?
And that I think speaks to, when I was listening to the clip, the thing that stood out to me is she's talking about how there's pain, they're carrying this weight, it's really tough. That doesn't sound like women's rights. That sounds like women's enslavement to one option, which is not, quote, pro-choice. Pro-choice means you can choose equally among several different options, and they're spinning it as no, there's just this one option. That sounds like there's a root problem that's not being addressed.
Yeah. And I think really, really importantly, don't ignore the fact that she listed, the pain. They might not be able to have the child. They might not be able to take care of it. Yeah. Those are things that need to be addressed.
True. Very
and
true.
Which is better, that the woman is forced to have an abortion because she can't keep the child, even if she wants to, or that we go out and say, no, here's people who are going to help you take care of your child. Here's a pregnancy care center.
And that's probably more what I'm probably connecting with. And so maybe Whoopi has not had, if she's, intimately involved in Planned Parenthood and has seen a lot of other people's experiences, that could be what she's reacting to.
Right.
But when I hear her speak, I hear her actually acknowledging that abortion is not a good thing.
Right.
But just that it is a panicked thing and a panicked choice.
See, I disagree. It sounds to me like she's saying it's a really good thing because it's almost like she's implying if she doesn't have an abortion, that she's either going to end up abusing the kid or she's going to feel really guilty because of adoption. It's going to be abortion's like the best of all the options. That's what I hear.
Well, she's trying to make it. It was the only option.
Right, and it's not. Yeah. You're not dealing with a good situation. Right. So let's,
that's
and not everything is the same. And there are people that do take abortion lightly.
Right. So, well, see, and the thing is, I don't think most women take the decision lightly.
Right.
If lightly means waltzing into the abortion clinic whistling a Colby Calais tune, okay, that's not what I think women do. Okay.
That is a funny picture.
It's true.
But clearly, most women having abortions take the life of their unborn child too lightly.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
And the example, I was on a train recently with a guy named Martin. He's kind of pro-choice, kind of deist, would be maybe the best way to describe him. But he was talking about how his friend really cares equally for humans and animals, and his example of that was that she has a moment of silence when she kills a fly. And I said, okay, now maybe she treats animals with more respect.
But she still kills.
Hold on, but maybe she takes animals with more respect than I do. But that's not treating them equally. If she ran over a kid, she would not just have a moment of silence. That would be a devastating thing. So it's not equal. And so that's just one more example. She's implying the other thing would be implied at the end that women who can't take care of their kids are going to end up killing their kids. I just think that's horrible. But anyway, we've got to go now. But we're going to come back next week. We'll go through the other clips. And the point of all this is that you're able to, when you hear shows like this, when you see shows like this, I'm hoping that the kind of things that we're saying are going to be the things that automatically come up in your mind, that you'll be thinking the way that what we're saying right now.
You've been watching Life Report, pro-life talk, real world answers. Life Report is produced by Right to Life of Central California. Visit their website at fresnoprolife.org.